Motivation. It is described as internal and external factors that stimulate desire and energy in people to be continually interested and committed to a job, role, or subject, or to make an effort to attain a goal. It results from the interaction of both conscious and unconscious factors, such as the intensity of desire or need, incentive or reward value of a goal, and expectations of the individual and his or her peers. These factors are the reasons one has for behaving a certain way. In a business environment, people often confuse the idea of happy employees with motivated employees. These may be related, but motivation actually describes the level of desire employees feel to perform, regardless of how happy they are. Employees who are adequately motivated to perform will be more productive, more engaged, and feel more invested in their work. When employees feel these things, it helps them, and thereby their managers, be more successful. Good afternoon, class. I'm here today to talk to you about a book by Daniel Pink called Drive: The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us. Although many naturally assume that external rewards such as raises and bonuses can stimulate motivation in the workplace, this is not always the case. In fact, the uses of similar stimulus, such as the previous ones described, can actually lead to less progress within the company and create a deterioration in progress once the rewards are removed. How likely would you be to continue working hard to secure that new account if your manager informed you that you would no longer be receiving commission for it? I'm sure the majority of us would be far less inclined to go above and beyond if the working environment had been poisoned in such a way. Pink begins his book by explaining that motivation has evolved with industry, and previous methods of rewarding good behavior and punishing bad behavior is no longer effective. Historically, a shoemaker would receive weekly pay for making his products. A company who paid this individual in piecework format may discover that the shoemaker becomes more productive and created more products. With recent technological advances, many new jobs don't have the luxury of working in this manner. A law clerk cannot be motivated in this manner as there is no motivation to work quickly, unlike the shoemaker. In Pink's book, he cites several different studies that support this argument. First, there was a group who was given several blocks and asked to create a series of three-dimensional shapes. These participants were rewarded with money for each shape they created. The reward was then taken away and results were compared. The researchers found that once the money is no longer offered, participants seemed far less interested in the blocks and their creativity seemed diminished. The second test, which is far more popular, involved a candle and some thumbtacks. This test was developed in 1944 by a psychologist named Dr. Carl Duncker. Individuals are brought into a room one at a time and presented with a candle, matches, and a box of thumbtacks, and asked to fix the candle to the wall so that the wax does not drip onto the ground. The majority of participants try to pierce the candle with the tacks to secure it to the wall. This method does not work. Others attempted to use the matches to melt the wax, and use the melted wax to secure the candle to the wall. This also does not work. Eventually, after 5 or 10 minutes, the participants realized that they could take the candle and put that in the box used to hold the tacks and fix that to the wall. The tacks would secure the cardboard, and the box would catch the wax. Problem solved. Pink describes this hurdle as functional fixedness. Most individuals only see the box as a receptacle to hold the tacks and do not see it as a useful piece of the puzzle. However, what does this tell us about motivation? In order to determine the role that incentives play on motivation, this test was administered to two groups by a professor at Princeton University. To the first group, the professor stated that the participants would be timed in order to calculate the normal time it took for an individual to complete the test. For the second group, $5 was given to the first 20% to finish, and $20 was awarded for the fastest time. Most would assume that the two groups with incentives would finish the problem the fastest, as they had reason to work quickly. However, on average, it took this group 3.5 minutes longer to complete the test than the group who received no reward at all. But why is this? Pink suggests that offering rewards such as bonuses and commission dulls thinking and blocks creativity. These contingent incentives cause employees to work with blinders on and may drastically reduce creativity in the workplace. Instead of motivating employees with commission-based rewards, Dan Pink suggests the idea of adequate salaries and verbal praise when an employee does a good job. He explains that offering rewards for piecework functions may be very effective in some instances, but it is not widely effective, and can generate tension between employees in the workplace. Many can develop hostility when they see coworkers taking home more money than them when they work similar hours. Although one employee may be working hard to earn that extra income, resentment within the workplace can lead to problems within the team. The book was broken up into 3 distinct parts and thoroughly explains ideas regarding motivation and the downfalls of utilizing external rewards to inspire others. Although the second section of the book was more interesting information regarding the material that we'd covered during the semester. The parts covered topics of autonomy, mastery, and purpose as described by Pink. Each of these qualities can be attained by individuals in order to become an effective leader. This is the main reason why the book tied so well into the material that was covered in our course. Autonomy was described as the ability to control the task, time, team, and technique. This involves the abilities to control what is being done, when and how long it takes to get done, who completes each portion of the task, and why that person was individually selected to complete the work, and how exactly the task will be completed. By giving individuals autonomy, the leader will help to encourage the team members to think for themselves, which should increase creativity within the group. Secondly, mastery describes the ongoing route towards perfection. This trait can be applied to both the leader and the members of the team. Mastery is a goal that may never be achieved, but is important for the quality of work that is done. Pink states that mastery begins with flow, optimal experiences, and the challenges we face exquisitely matched to our abilities. He also states that mastery is a mindset that focuses on the learning process, competing against oneself, striving to do better, or learning more. Although mastery or perfection may never be achieved, it is a vital attribute to achieve in order to be intrinsically motivated. Lastly, he explains the purpose. In his words, purpose involves doing something that matters to you and doing it well. All because this is something that is larger than yourself. A real-life company would be 10 Tree Clothing in British Columbia. This company manufactures fair trade clothing like hats, coats, sweaters, t-shirts, and have a low ecological footprint during production. For each garment that is purchased, the company plants 10 trees. When the consumer gets the product and types in the access code into the company's website, they are able to see where in the world these 10 trees have been planted. This makes the consumer feel better about purchasing their product and proves that the company still believes in their purpose. It would clearly be cheaper for the company to simply sell their product, but they believe in their brand and stay true to their purpose. This has helped the corporation prosper. The attributes of mastery and purpose tie into the readings that we studied in the second week of class. We discussed in depth the differences between leaders and managers and which were more effective in specific instances. These attributes outline why leaders may be a more effective choice in successful companies. A manager may not address specific ideas such as mastery and purpose, and they may only be concerned with getting the task accomplished. I can go back to the shoe manufacturing example that I stated at the beginning of this presentation. A company having a goal of producing 100 pairs in a night shift. A manager may only be concerned that the crew produces this number in a safe and efficient manner. A leader, on the other hand, would make sure that the quality of each pair was symbolic to what the company stands for and create an environment that makes his employees happy to work for the company. These two attributes also related to the required reading from week 4 we discussed with organizational behavior. There were several debates discussed where change should begin, at the top or at the bottom, and I believe these 3 attributes that we spoke about suggest that change should start at the top. Although I insist that everyone must be on board in order to complete a project in an effective manner, it is the leader that needs to buy into the idea first, and if they don't, then nothing else matters. The leader needs to acquire the professional attributes before the team has any chance of success. Only then does the purpose matter for the team members. But okay, so what? One might ask what all of this has to do with leadership. Well, here is why the book works so closely with the content reviewed in this course. Leaders must be autonomous. They may be able to organize their employees and work towards the completion of the project. They must be more than just a manager and must be able to work towards group success. They need to be able to address timelines and determine who the best individuals are to get the job done quickly and effectively. They also must not settle for mediocrity. If a leader settles for anything less than perfection, that provides the examples of the workforce that it's okay for them to do the same. The path towards mastery is the only option to make sure that the completed work is as good as it can be, and even if mastery never actually gets achieved. Lastly, in order for a leader to be effective, he or she must believe in their brand. They must believe in the purpose of the company. They must believe in the purpose the company has in order to inspire coworkers to do the same. This is why it is essential for companies to lead from the top down and provide an adequate example of what an effective leader looks like. One can never expect their employees to give 100% until the leader does himself. Thank you, class, and good luck.